Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today for Tuesday 10. For those who are new here, Tuesday 10 is where I take 10 things out of my stash here of papers and stuff that I keep in a basket behind my desk, and we just keep on making until we use them all up. So first thing I have is this vintage book page of a lynx, and I really love the illustration. It's from an Audubon book. Yeah, it's just really pretty. And then I have this book cover from a children's reader called Macaroon that I got for free at like the Kirby Church bookstore. And then I have this was like a book page. This is Morgan Fairchild from 1983, dressed as a witch. I've been kind of hoarding this, but lately I've been feeling these like Halloween kind of vibes, so I think I want to use that maybe today. This is a children's book page. Another like freebie that I got from that Kirby Church book sale. And this is a sticker sheet with these like dandelion-ish kind, not dandelion, something else. What are they called? Queen Anne's lace type bits and a little dragonfly, a couple of them. Those are stickers. This is from some package from something. And then this is from a book of old ads. And this is Snag Proof Lambertville Rubber Co., Lambertville, New Jersey. A really cool, like, it's like a giant boot, and it's got all these little, like, elfy type creatures. I really like them. And then on the back, it's got a lovely ad as well. But I'm more inclined to use that one today, I think. This is a beautiful book page from a golden book. It's what's her name? Nelkins or something. I forget her full name, but her illustration, Elise Nelkins. I'm getting some part of this wrong, but anyways, she's known for her incredible illustrations. This is from my last Journal Together kit. It's Willow Avenue and Antiques signs, and then this bit of like written ledger, and then this is a collage board. So where do we begin today? I am happy to be back. I am freshly back from a little camping vacation with my kids, and that was a lot of fun. We had a blast. I'm kind of doing something with this like this. Just got to think on it a little bit. Yeah, I think I will do something like that. These could open. We could separate them into two bits and make them like tip outs, or we could use them together as tip outs to open up to something like this, or have that be backing. Think. I don't know, I just naturally kind of feel like they sort of could go nicely together. But maybe not. We'll have to ponder a little with these. I mean, on their own, I think they'd just be very cool tip outs. And they don't even need to be together with this string anymore, because I feel like as much fun as this would be to keep useful, you know, it's obviously a good instructional piece that you can use as a template to understand how to do this. You're simply using two eyelets and then two pieces of, you know, rounded cardboard or something a little thick like cardstock, and you're eyeletting through, and then you can use the string to wrap around. So that's kind of the mechanic of all of that. And I'd like to use them together, but I feel like this is such a big piece, I'd have to cut it down. And I might do that. I don't know. Maybe I need to think on those a little bit and decide what they would go with as a focal point. What would I want to frame inside of those? So let's not get stuck on that for now. We'll just set them aside. I'll get started with something that I know what I want to do that's very simple. I just want to make a piece of stationery with this because it is so big. I don't want to lose like the lovely image at all. And that'll give me a little bit of time to kind of chat with you guys without having to use my brains too much. Yeah, so I'm back from a lovely camp with the kids. We had a good time. we got a new tent, which was very successful. It was a great tent, nice big. It's nice to not have to stoop down to get in and out of the tent. And I found that I had over prepared. I brought another little pop-up tent for the kids to use as a play tent, because that was like a really fun kind of hack that I learned from some folks last year when we were camping. They brought for their kids. But then I found that this new tent that we have, it's just actually so awesome that the kids were totally fine to just hang out, you know, responsibly, not ruining anything, not messing up the beds. Just, you know, they would just chill in the tent and play around, and they didn't need the play tent. So that's one less thing for me to worry about bringing when we camp, which is nice. So it'll just be our big new tent and our food kind of pop-up that I always put over the picnic table, so that we have a place to eat without, you know, mosquitoes annoying us. And it's got like a zip and it's wide open. But yeah, we did loads and loads of swimming because it was quite hot. We started like while there was, you know, a heat wave. I was a little bit concerned, but it was a non-powered site too. So like we didn't have any energy. It was a radio-free site with no power. But I recently had purchased this thing. It's like, you know, like a little mini generator you can kind of pre-charge and solar charge. It's made by this company called Jackery, and like I think a lot of people who do a lot of like off the grid type camping and that kind of thing use them. And I got one of those because, you know, as much as I love a good backwoods off the grid type camp, I think I prefer something a little more like in the middle. Like you got a bit of power, but you don't got people sitting on, you know, tablets or anything. It's like it's outdoors, but you're able to plug in a fan at night and a kettle in the morning instead of having to boil water on gas, you know, when you're trying to cook breakfast. Like I love cooking breakfast. I don't cook on the fire because I don't like having to get up in the morning and like make a big fire and have smoke and all that. I like to just cook on gas because there's just something really nice about cooking on a Coleman stove. And so that's what I do. I usually keep campfires for nighttime marshmallow type stuff. So, and we definitely did do that. But yeah, it started out hot, but we did a lot of swimming. It was really, really nice. I had a great time. I ended up getting myself involved, you know, in your typical animal, what's the right kind of way to say this? Kerfuffle. So there was an animal at risk situation where a Canada goose, like first I noticed one Canada goose on the beach who was limping, but he was apparently okay. I couldn't have caught him anyway. They're way too fast. And then the next day I noticed that like the staff were trying to catch this goose. So I was in the water and every time it would come toward the water, I would sort of swim toward it so it would get back out of the water. And then they said, oh, you know, thank you. We're just trying to catch this goose because it had fishing line wrapped around its leg, the poor thing. So, you know, they wanted to catch it and cut it off so it didn't like lacerate the ankle of the goose. So I just kind of kept doing my thing and swimming toward it when it would get in the water. Then they would try to catch it. And finally this lovely, like, I think it was probably a group of like 4 seniors, you know, came along. And, you know, this lady said, she's like, you know, the secret to getting the geese to cooperate is to feed them. And I totally agree. I wasn't close enough to like, you know, be part of the conversation, but I could hear it from where I was in the water. And she was totally right because she started to feed the goose and then, you know, in no time at all, it was over by their little camp area that they were using for the day, and they were able to get a hold of it and get the nasty fishing line off of the poor deer, which is good because that would have ended in tragedy. But the other goose that had the limp, they told me that it's had that limp. It's a tagged goose, and it had some kind of an injury, so there's nothing that like they can really do for that one. It's just going to have a limp, but you know, it survives just fine. It does its thing, so they're not too concerned. So I was like, okay, that's good. All right, while we have the chopper out, I'm going to just do a little bit more chopping away here. So I'm going to get rid of this macaroon at the bottom. And then for this, we get rid of the curl in the paper. And I think I might do that. So that's kind of fun. And for the rest of this, I'm going to get rid of the curl in the paper again. And then the bottom here, this, what does it say? Gin reading series. Yeah, I'll get rid of that. And I love the little Sunderland Public School thing in there, so I'm actually just going to fold this in half. Okay. Is that all I need to do chopping wise? I think so. Yep. And then we did take a few little breaks from, you know, in the middle of the day when it was really, really hot on the first day. We went and we had a nice Korean barbecue lunch and did a little bit of shopping, like picking up a few things that we needed. I got a mat for outside the tent so that, you know, mucky shoes could be put there and that sort of thing. Just round these corners and decide if I have something I can put on the front of this here as a focal point. I mean, one of these might be kind of cool. Even the big one or some of the little ones might be a nice way to use some of those. And they are stickers, I think, right? Not rub-ons. Yeah, stickers. And let's just see. Yeah, actually, that'll be nice because they'll give a little bit of a shiny something to this little booklet. This one has a price sticker. Put that over here. But yeah, there was a lot of kids at the campsite, and my kids got to play with them, and that was fun. And there was that really lovely older gentleman. He was a kind of one of those grizzled, you know, fisherman types that I think some people that camp a lot, like, you know, he's the kind of guy who doesn't wear any sunscreen. He's up at 5 a.m. He's out there fishing. He's just like, he reminds me a lot of like when I was a kid, my uncles that would, like, you know, none of them wear sunscreen, and they have this like permanent kind of tan. It kind of makes me worry though, because, you know, skin cancer these days is so prevalent with our really, really hot sun. But anyways, he was nice, and he was out fishing one morning. I took the kids for an early morning swim. And he caught a little sunfish and a little, I think they're called crappies, funny enough, just two little fish. And he brought them in to show my kids and let them go on the beach again. Just handed the container over to my daughter, and she was able to release them back into the water. Just a super nice gesture. Put one more of those there, and I think I'm actually going to use the other dragonfly on here too. I might have to cut a part of it off, but that's okay. And then I'll use the big piece somewhere else. What I might do is just maybe open this, lay it like that, and we'll just be real specific about getting it down on the fold. so then it can kind of come over. Now it doesn't want to. It's that vellum-y type stuff, so let's just cut it off. Not an emotional thing. And then what I'll do, because it doesn't really want to be bent, is, well, do I want to cut that off too? Or glue it? Oh, I'll cut it off. I cut the other part off, so why keep the wing? And if you can hear water in the background, that's just my laundry. I am washing some white fabric and some garments that I want to mordant, because I think I've only eco printed like one time this whole season, this whole summer. So I would like to get some eco printing done before, you know, fall has left us and I don't end up having any time to like get fabrics ready for winter work. So I'm just going to round the corners of this and make it into just a simple journal card. I just think simplicity today is everything I need. Like it's a nice, you know, it's a book cover, and so it's got a nice weight to it. So I think I'm happy with those two just as they are. And this one I also kind of wanted to keep simple because it's kind of like a cutesy, I don't know that I would really use it in a lot of things. So I think first I'm just going to take a look here. Hydrate and look at these words. I think somewhere special is a nice little word snippet. Keep that aside. That's all I need from that one. And then I think what I'm going to do with this is tear this out. Just real rough, doesn't need to be super smooth. And use this bit of card, I think. Actually, is that a little thick? That's too thick. My daughter is upstairs jumping on the trampoline. If you hear, that's what that is. Set those aside again. But yeah, I saw a lot of nice birds while I was out. I saw like some birds I don't even know what they were, and I would just sort of see a one-off of them when I was swimming out in the middle of the lake. I swim across the whole lake and I kind of go out where there's nobody else, and you know, see a bunch of cormorants and lots of swallows fly over the water. And then there's some other kind of bird, and I'm not sure if they're also swallows, but they just act differently, and they hover up above the water, and they just are so funny. They look like they put like 100 times more energy into flying than they should. They're just flip-flopping their wings like crazy, and they'll make these like very erratic tweet, 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 tweet kind of sound. And I think it might be some of the swallows that nest on the rocks there, warning swimmers to stay away from their nests, like kind of like killdeers do, but a little differently. But I couldn't see them because they were up too high, so I'm not sure if they were the swallows, because like swallows have sort of a really specific way of flying. They have a certain shape in the air, and yeah, it was hard to tell because they were too high. And then I saw a bunch of mayflies on the last couple of days when we would swim in the evening. And the cool thing with mayflies is what they do. If this is the water, say here, they fly up and down and up and down and up and down, and they just kind of, it's like a mating swarm, I think is what they call it. So if you looked up high in the air, you would, like up above your head, you would see a whole bunch of mayflies going up and down and up and down. It wasn't like overwhelming or anything, it was just kind of cool to see them. Okay, so yeah, just like a little kind of paper doll with him, or a little journal card. He's just a sweet little critter cut out. I like that. And then I gotta get to this, and then I've really got to figure out what am I gonna do with these. I'm kind of avoiding them today. I find when I throw like a any kind of a collage board, it takes longer, excuse me, for me to use like up the stuff. Now the trouble with this is, like, I feel like the pumpkin, I can cut it out and I can use it, but I kind of want to have her and the broom, but like it's going to be too big. So maybe I will settle for a little bit of the broom. Just do it, Cindy. And then can I just get rid of that, or should I collage? Yeah, that's fine. That, and we'll get rid of this. Because I want this to be, you know, something that can be a piece of ephemera in a journal. I don't want it to be huge. I don't want to make like a big, huge thing with it. So let's start with just gluing it down. Get another piece of folder here. And then the funny thing was, the last day of our trip, the night before, we had a little bit of firewood left, and we thought, we'll burn it in the morning. You know, we'll have like a little morning fire. So at night, like, it gets quite misty, so I wanted to keep it dry. So I just put it inside of a garbage bag and left it on the picnic table outside. Well, in the night, I'm guessing, I didn't hear a single thing, but a critter came along and thought, I wonder what's inside this box, or this bag. And it wasn't just any critter. It was a skunk. So a skunk came along and actually sprayed the bag. Thankfully, it was far away from our tent. So as soon as I walked up to it, I was like, oh no. So I put on some gloves and I cut the bag top off so I could reach in, get the firewood bag out, like the netted bag, and then get rid of the garbage bag into the garbage. So thankfully I was able to do all of that without like getting any skunk on me. Such little tricksters. But yeah. It was a little bit stressful at first. I was like, oh no, did the skunk spray the tent or something? No, it didn't. But yeah, that's your reminder not to leave any food bits outside. And apparently also firewood in a garbage bag. I've never like covered my firewood that way. I usually put it right inside the kitchen tent, but we had broken the kitchen tent down the night before so that we wouldn't have to worry about it in the morning when we were packing things up, and we would have, you know, that extra time to just kind of go swimming and like load up and not be too stressed about everything we had to do before going home. So we just left it out on the picnic table. Okay, so there's the pumpkin, and I was thinking of using it maybe as a tuck spot here. And I would just stitch the whole thing. I kind of want to use just like a little bit of it because I want to see this bit of her. So what I think I'll do, I'll just put a little bit of glue here. And then a little bit here. But I definitely miss like being here and making videos and stuff. I had a great time and it was a nice break, but like I do miss the creativity. I've been a little bit like sad to see all of the very frustrating tariff discussion for all of our friends in the UK. Now that the Trump administration, has decided to get rid of the de minimis. Anything under $800 is also going to have tariffs, which I think is honestly just, you know, it's very aligned with a totalitarian type of government who are populists, and they're just greedy, capitalist, ugly kind of people, right? They like to go after the intelligent people, the small businesses, the artists, the creatives, and so they know that by getting rid of de minimis, that's exactly who they're impacting. They're not impacting like, you know, steel, oil, like the larger manufacturers. They're impacting, I think, our attachment to one another, right? As creatives and as patrons of each other. because like that's like what creates division, right? But the trouble I think for the UK, so like I made a video a couple of months ago called like, you know, will US tariffs destroy my small business? So I mean, for a lot of people the answer is going to be yes if things continue as they are, but the trouble for the UK, the trouble that I don't have because of the shipping vendor that I use, is that they don't have the facilities to handle calculating the tariffs, because they've been implemented in a very irresponsible, unclear way. Like they don't know what should go on what and that kind of thing. So like the problem is that for the UK, a lot of systems just can't handle it. So they're doing some kind of like a flat fee, like, and I've heard that it could be like just a flat $80. And so for someone who's getting something that's like $10, $20, they're obviously not going to want to pay this flat fee. I think it's going to take some time for them to sort that out, and I don't think it'll ever be as good as having free trade, obviously, and hopefully we'll get a more sensible US government soon, and something very drastic will sweep the US in all of this extremely, I'd say, like abridging illegal or fraudulent type behavior, very, I'd say, dishonest behavior. But anyways, hopefully something better happens soon, because like I really do, I've really had quite a lot of sad emotions just seeing all of these lovely, usually women, small creators who make beautiful things and have developed friendships across the planet. You know, obviously as international people, we have a lot of US customers because of the population in the US. And obviously we love our American friends and customers and family and creatives, and like I have all these friendship with like YouTubers, and you know, I obviously love Americans, and I just really despise the American administration right now. I've always despised Donald Trump from his very beginnings. He's always been a terrible person. So like it's a daily shock to the system that he is where he is, but I think it's a symptom of apathy in society right now. It's a symptom of like a lot of things going on that almost sound like conspiracy theories, but like they aren't. Like people doing things to fraudulently impact elections with lobbying and, you know, technology and all these things. I think there's definitely a very good argument that all of that has been happening, with obviously no way to prove it, and this is only my opinion, not fact. Obviously everything I say here is my own opinion, disclaimer. But yeah, it's really heartbreaking to watch someone who, you know, is just a mother and a small business owner who makes beads or beautiful paper goods, and you know, she has this business, this Patreon, these friends, she's wonderful, and now she doesn't know how to feed her family or pay her bills. And if anybody is like finding anything good in that, I really suggest you get therapy, because there's something deeply wrong with you if you feel that way. But yeah, that's my feeling on the whole thing. I was really heartbroken to see so many videos this week coming out from the UK. So I've got to think of ways that, you know, I can try to support those creators, because I don't know, I guess I would want that if that's what was happening to me. I'd hope to see other creators reach out to me too. So I've been trying to send a lot of supportive messages and think about how I can collaborate with some folks in the UK who are losing, you know, business over this. And it's not just the UK. I mean, it's all of Europe, and it's probably even more than that. I don't know that like a lot of countries will have it figured out to handle all of this. I'm wondering, I don't want to use that one. This one's a possible. Kind of like that with the bottom. I can have a little label or writing space or something there. I know I'm covering up all those mushrooms and that feels slightly evil, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this pattern, to be honest, but it goes really well with this. And now I'm kind of like, did I make a boo-boo by cutting it this way and I should have left it together? And can we fix that? Let's see. Because that might be kind of neat. Yeah, it sure is. Okay, let's just modify things. All right, this here. But I feel like I've got a million videos in my brain right now that I need to get made. And I'm working on a couple of journals still that I hope I get done. I mean, one of them, it's a very slow go. But I mean, I don't know, most of my journals are slow go. That's good. And then we have these little bits left over that would be nice, like little label type things. Probably just put those in my scraps. Okay. So then I need to strengthen up the back a little and prevent that bend because I cut this in half. So first thing I'll do is this strengthening of some masking tape. And that's going to prevent like the bend from happening. And then go ahead and just put this on a nice little glue layer. And some vintage book backing. I want to try to find like a little bit that I could collage or put like a label or something. Too busy. Too busy. And that's kind of cool. Let me trim this up so I know what the shape is going to be here. Yeah. And we need a little ink, I think, because that white is a little jarring. I don't want to turn that into a tag, maybe. It might be kind of interesting. I use a little of this at the top, just this green iridescent silk up here when I stitch, and that will be very fun. Yeah. Okay, so what do we have left? We've got this, and oh yeah, this stuff still. Okay, I love this so much. I would like to keep the whole thing intact, but how and what do we want to do? Oh yeah, okay, I think I have a plan here for this. Okay. Let's get a pencil. Make a little mark there. Get rid of that. And the idea is I want this to become like a flip for that. But first, before I do that, I need my big punch. Here. So we have a little bird window there. You see the birds through there? I'll put that in my circles because I always need little circles for things. So then we'll flip that over. Okay, so if we imagine the back side of this needs to open this way. Oops. Turn that off. Turn to the side. Do I want to fold that and have it be like a little folded bit back here? Because that could also be very cute. I'm going to cover this regardless, but you know, this will be wide and I don't want to use it necessarily. I mean, I could make, actually, no, I know what I'll do. We're going to turn this into a whole signature, I think. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Yep, okay. And I mean, I have space, I could cut this down to there. So let's just glue, okay, this right down. And obviously I do have the option, if I wanted to fold that little girl over and have her be like another element here separately, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Glue this down here. We'll trim the top off. So that we can have that be like that. Then go ahead and create a fold here. And so now that can literally be, you know, a full signature. So it can go in like that. And then, you know, depending on the width of the book that I use it, I can have this be the flip, writing space, this can just be a page if it's a wider book like that, and then we could add over here to this one if I wanted to, or not. It's fine as is. Or if I decide I'm going to put it in a thinner book, then I still have the option to fold that back. I might just stitch. Do I want to do any stitching? Possibly on here, like a crisscross. Actually, it doesn't need it. I'm just a stitch goblin. I love stitching. Okay. But no, I think that's a fun signature. And then when I added it into a journal, I'd probably put something here, you know. Although I could also, I do have this, and that could be kind of fun to go on this. Why don't we do that? We'll use this because they go nicely together. Let's just pull this up here. Yeah. Beauty. Okay, we'll snip the end off here. And then, I think we need a little bit of an ink, possibly this one, peeled paint. This one, actually that's got more green on it. I'll use this one. Just kind of come around here. And also we can ink this edge and the back. And the little seam. There we go. Yeah, that's fun. I might cover this though with a little green paper or something. Let's see. A little eco print paper. Yeah. Do we want her shoes? Maybe. Okay. That's just a little bit of writing space now. Okay, so that's that one. What's going to be next? I'm going to take one little second to just grab my laundry. All right, laundry has been hung up to dry. Alrighty, so maybe now we'll move into this little collage board. This is cute. It's got some little birds here. It's got some backing from like a Japanese illustration book that's really beautiful. I think I just need two. Maybe I'm thinking of adding like a little guy like this. This little guy here. He's beautiful. So cute. And then, don't know if I have. I'm just gonna look for something here. One sec. I'm still with you. I'm just off camera. Where are my butterflies? Here's one. That one might be good. Wondering if we can't make him like a little fairy child. That would be so cute there, I think. Yep. And I would like that as a pocket. I think that would be a cute, cute pocket. So let's start by inking up these wings. It's funny, I feel like this summer, I've been feeling kind of like I'm not doing enough creative stuff. Like I'm not present enough here on YouTube or something. But I think that's normal for summer for lots of us, and I think that's a good thing, because it means that like you're out, you're enjoying weather. We're going to be cooped up for a long Canadian winter, right? So if you're a little bit annoyed that I'm not here as often as I usually am right now, please note that I will be. There. Okay. Good. Then I might look for like words. Let's maybe just look here on this page. This book. Vegetable garden. Garden one morning. In the garden one morning could be cute. The children lost some of their clothes and a lot of them caught cold. How about out from some dark place in the mountains? Or out from some place in the mountains. Let's just see what else there is here. Stream before the water rose. Yeah, I think that's good. Out from some place in the mountains. Cute, cute. He's adorable. All right, next we still have this big thing here and these labels and the that other door. So why don't I go ahead, I'll cut this out. see how to best use this. If we were to flap those together to make a booklet, that could be kind of cool. The other thing could be I could flap them together, I could cut that out and then have the same thing on both sides and then have that left over. It's almost like kind of like an envelope. It could act like a signature, to be honest. I am going to take the string off though because I'm not using it anymore. Why don't we create that flap? I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm just going to do it with some tape for now. With a little gap in between. And what I like to do is a wide crisscross kind of stitch across this type of thing. Bring that in. And that's straight, right? That's better. Okay. I'm actually gonna maybe do both sides because I don't want that to be sticky. Well, actually it won't be after I stitch it. I'm gonna take a little tiny stitchy break. Or actually, instead of taping it, I could do something kind of interesting. Like this first. Any excuse to use this awesome paper. I just did a really fun kit using this paper for my Patreons for the freebie for Friday. It's all sorts of lovely little snippets and labels and things. Today is Friday the something. What is it today? Need another little piece. August 16th. So it's actually Saturday, but it's for my freebie Friday, but I posted one day late because of being away at camp. If you're interested in a really fun little snippet kit and you have been thinking you'd like to check out my Patreon, now is the time because I just released it for the freebie Friday on Saturday for the 16th of August. So if that interests you, then come on over and hang out with us on Patreon. There's so much fun stuff there. Need a little bit of black ink on the edge here to just match what's there from the natural boiled book. That's another thing I want to do this week is a boiled book. Oops, come on, get on there. Did you turn? You did. That's okay. I'm going to be stitching this. Okay, so perfect. So this is going to get stitched probably on like all around that tape, and then it will be like a fun piece, but I'm going to wait to bend it up until I've stitched it. Why don't I take a little quick stitch break? So this has been stitched. I just stitched the masking tape down, and we got these fun bits of thread here. But I was thinking about taking one of these guys, like this guy, and having them kind of sit there. So I think I'll cut them apart and do that. I've just been feeling these Timbits people lately. I just really have. I like them. I mean, I've always liked them, but they're just like the right weight and everything. I just like them for that. Yeah, and see, he could just sit there. That's cute. Okay. There we go. And I think I'll put a little ink back here on that back of there so it kind of blends it in with the brown of the folder. We'll just ink everything up a little. My husband and my son just got home from picking up my puppy dogs because my parents watched them while we were camping. I have to say, I'm a huge dog lover, but I totally don't know why people, I mean, I guess they have no choice, don't know why they bring their dogs camping. It's actually like so super annoying to have dogs at a campground, especially like a quiet one, like a radio-free zone like where we were. And it's kind of like, I sort of feel bad for the dogs too, because it's like an anxious place for them, because like they're outside where they're probably not used to being for like such large swaths of time, and then, you know, they hear every little thing, right? And you're in the woods, and so like you're hearing chipmunks and squirrels and whatever other things are, you know, messing around, and people and kids, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not too like upset about it or anything, because I think I try to be careful about saying what people should and shouldn't do, because I mean, I know there's people out there who are like, why do you bring kids on airplanes? And I'm a big believer in like, let people live. Like, let people live. Don't feel so, I guess, sensitive to everything, you know. But yeah, I do think for me, definitely, I would not want to deal with having my dogs with me. I've taken my, when I had all Chihuahuas, well, I had 3 Chihuahuas and a miniature wiener dog, Dachshund. I used to take the 4 of them, and I take them kayaking, and they'd all have their life jackets. I mean, I had like that child-free life back then, but with kids, I don't think I could manage dogs and kids. It's too much. All right, I like that. Okay. But yeah, there were some nice dogs. There was a couple annoying barky dogs. Some dogs that probably shouldn't have even been there, period. Because, again, with the whole stop bringing your dogs places if they're not friendly. Like, stop doing that, people. What do you want to do with this? I've got these little signs, like this antique sign. But I think this is just too loud. So, I'm going to grab this useful little scrappy bit I've got and plunk it on there to kind of calm down the overall feel of this. I also think camping brings out the worst in some people, and I always really dislike hearing people having like domestic arguments, especially because now I have kids and I don't really want my kids hearing that kind of thing. Like, my husband and I were doing something. The kids were in the tent. They didn't hear any of it. They were like playing like a word game on my tablet while we were cooking, because I just wanted them to sort of stay busy and not bug me while I was cooking. And so like there was like this couple who we had seen at the beach, and like the other thing is a lot of people like let their kids run rampant and alone at campsites, and that's kind of weird to me too. Like, it's just not my way of doing things, because if you're around water, I just think you need to be with your kids. I don't think kids should go to the beach by themselves at all. So there was this couple who had 2 sons, and one was probably like 7 and the other was like 10, and these kids were just rampaging around by themselves pretty much the entire time, including at the beach. Like, one morning we went swimming and they were already there, and it was quite early, and they were by themselves in the water, and there's no lifeguards or anything. And I'm feeling, I think, super extra sensitive right now about water and kids, because like in my hometown alone, there have been like at least 6 drownings this year at the provincial park, and like it's happening all over. Like Ontario already has, I think, like 12 drownings this year, and like no one is wearing life jackets. And that's a big thing I notice still, is like kids aren't wearing life jackets. Like my kids are allowed to swim without life jackets with a parent. My daughter's a very proficient swimmer. My son is not. He's a new swimmer, but they're both with parents all the time. But like within the buoy area, if they go out of the buoy area, they have to put life jackets on. Even though my daughter can swim very proficiently, it's just like, it's too busy, it's too distracting. And I just think, I don't care, you know, like lots of people who can swim very proficiently drown. And I just can't have that risk on me at all. It freaks me out. Because I think it's easy to get distracted at a beach. Like I know one of the things that that the police were saying right now about, you know, saying to parents as a warning is like, get off your cell phone, put it away, or don't even bring it with you to the beach. Have nothing there that can be like a distraction, you know, because like some of these drownings, including a 3-year-old, you know, the parents were like on their cell phones sitting around, you know, scrolling on the beach while the kid is out in the water, and they don't realize it, and the kid gets somewhere that they shouldn't be, or they go under a barrier or something, or, you know, they step out a little too deep. Because for 3-year-olds, even like the shallow end that's like blocked in, most of them would still be too deep for a kid to stand up fully at the, you know, the deepest part of that. I don't know. I don't like to parent shame at all, and I don't do that, but like, I just hope parents understand that the risk is so, absolutely so there, that something bad could happen. I'm going to grab different people. That one is sitting and standing. What would you be sitting on, my friend? I'll put Willow Avenue here and Antiques over here. Maybe on top, that would be kind of cute. And then maybe a little, I've got this Sotheby's Concise Encyclopedia of Porcelain label. Not exactly. Maybe we'll use that on this one. Let's just do some piece and collage with these three and see how this all goes. I'm going to just take the Sotheby's Concise Encyclopedia. Willow Avenue, that there, that there. And then I need some other bits. That nice window. I'm going to put something behind it. No, this is still too busy with all these mushrooms. And I kind of need a girl. Because she could kind of be like at an antique store or something, and all this stuff could be like hanging out there. Yeah, I kind of like the antiques thing on there because it looks like she's at an antique store. So we could do something different for them. Oh, look, I have two of these cut out, Willow Avenue. Oh, I have another antiques. Yeah, so it's because I print out my own kits like a couple of times usually because I'm going to use them on different projects. This is from my Journal Together kit from this past month, if you're wondering. It's also on Patreon. And I know I mentioned Patreon earlier, and the kit that I just made, I should show it to you. I have it here. So like this is the freebie from Friday Freebies. It's 2 pages of these lovely like labels and things like this for cutting out, yeah, grungy snippets. And the kind of stuff I do for my freebie Fridays kind of varies. It might be vintage photos, or it might be, you know, just different things. I'm a little eclectic in my style, but if you've been here for a while, you probably know that. So I think this just needs a little something else going on. What would that something else be? I don't quite know yet. Maybe this. That's another little bit from my Journal Together kit. And maybe a little bit of lace or something would be cool too. On the side here. Yeah, okay. Let's build these up a little bit here. Set this one aside and this one aside and focus on this one. So I'm going to do the top down glue method. There. There. Get rid of that little punched out bit. Do a quick glue of this. Here we go. And then this bit, now we need to probably cover the back. Even though this is a nice paper to write on, I just think it would be good to have a plain backing. Is that tall enough? Nope. Nope. Okay, then I think I want to make the top of this a little interesting. And that'll go into my stitching pile once I just ink this up here. one. So I booked tickets for my family to go to the K-pop Demon Hunters movie at the cinema. It's a sing-along because my kids are obsessed with this movie. I mean, I loved it too. It was awesome. Amazing. Like a Korean Canadian woman, first film she's ever made. I mean, I'm just so all about it. It's awesome. I love all of the Korean art and symbolism and like the respect for the Korean culture and like just such a altogether great film. Amazing music, like a very female forward like message, and like, yeah, just altogether good. My kids absolutely love the film, and I'm going to love going to the cinema with them to go see it. Okay, we'll ink that one. I think I'll keep that as a journal card because I'm such a tag goblin. I'm always wanting to make tags. That being said though, I could probably add some nice fabric to the top of this to like give it another vibe. And also to use fabrics, because we're always trying to use things up here in this studio. The ecosystem of using things up. That's good. Then maybe a little, just a little book spine chunk too. I would like that. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Okay, now this one. Glue stick, there you are. And glue book. Punch out the bits. I feel like I want to distress those, like spritz them. Reach. Sorry, guys. There we go. Air. Okay, good. And then maybe a little bit of that's good. A little bit of cheek color. Willow Avenue. Do I want to put it up here possibly? That might be more fun. Let's do that. I just realized these are pussy willows. I didn't even plan that. It's great when a plan comes together that you didn't even plan to be a plan. ahead and glue this backing. Rid of these scraps and plug up this glue bottle here and this one too, and we need ink. And I'm thinking a little bit of Posca, gold markings, just little swipes. Just to add a little more texture. Oh, I need one right here. And that bit of ribbon I said I was going to use. Kind of inky mess that up a little bit. Give it a tiny bit of color, but not a lot, just a little. Because that'll go with the color we have there. Okay, so I will stitch those and then I'll come back and I'll show you everything that we got through here. It's a lot of fun. So we made 12 pieces today, woohoo! So let's go through them. Number one was this fun, like folio type, you know, thing. Love it. I love these. I'm so glad that I kept those packaging bits. Number two is this little, probably pocket, out from some place in the mountains. Number three, this vintage Lynx illustration tag. Number four, our Morgan Fairchild Witch with the little pumpkin tuck spot. Number five, this Antiques journal card. I added this A Town Afloat up there. I thought that was kind of fun. Number six is this Antiques tag. This kind of reminds me of like this story that I listen to at night called like Rain Day Antiques. It's like it helps me fall asleep at night. Number seven is this Willow Avenue with our little fun ladies here. Number eight, that little dragonfly booklet. Number nine is the raccoon journal tag or card. Very simple. Number 11 was just this little like paper doll kind of card. And then, oh, we have 13? Sorry, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh no, 12. Sorry, number 11 is this piece of stationery from the Snag Proof Rubber Company. And then number 12 is this fun folio with the peekaboo birdhouse that we made with the sticker back there. So I think this is a successful Tuesday 10, a fun one. I liked everything that I got to make and I had a lot of fun making it and chatting with you guys. It's good to be back. So thanks for joining me for another Tuesday 10 and we'll talk again real soon. Bye for now.